Yo, what's up, YouTube family? So, if you're wondering why do I have these plants around me, why does it look like the wind is making them shimmer? Why do I have on a t-shirt that makes me look like I should be under a cabana? It's because the end of summer has approached, and I want to feel like I'm somewhere where I want to be. So what I usually do is I set up my workspace and my home space to feel like it's somewhere that I want to be rather than somewhere that I need to escape from. So, if you feel like you're at a dreaded job and you don't want to be there, or you're just sad that the summer has ended, just my suggestion is to add a few things to your workspace that make it feel like it's somewhere that you want to be. And if it's not, I hope that I'm sending you tons and tons of positive vibes to make it feel like it's still summertime wherever you are. In any case, that's not the reason I wanted to film this video. Um, the subject that I wanted to touch on in this video is a question that I get asked quite often on my LinkedIn account, which is, was General Assembly worth it? When people look at my LinkedIn, I think that they see that I went to General Assembly and now I'm a UX designer. So how did that happen? And I think they become interested in that story. And so I'll talk about that here. So there's a few things that I think I need to um, address. There is, why did I go to General Assembly? What was my goal after General Assembly? And was it worth it? Right? What else is something that I could cover? Did people get jobs after General Assembly? So I'll touch on all those different things, and I didn't set this up. I'm just gonna kind of talk from the heart and off the cuff, because General Assembly is a huge decision. It's a lot of money. Um, you're probably in a job already. You probably have a family. You probably have kids. You probably are in a relationship. You probably have you're probably someone who wants to transition careers. You're probably somebody who wants to learn a new skill. And you heard about this thing called GA, and you're wondering to yourself, uh, should you go through it? So I need to just talk from the heart, because those are all things that affect a human being in every single emotional way, financial way possible, right? It's a huge decision. So let me first talk about why I went to General Assembly. So I went to GA because at the time I was working for a producer who was working at a YouTube network, and he hired me to promote the concept that he had. And basically, the concept was hot girls eating fast food, putting the food all over themselves, and we're gonna build this website to promote that idea to college-aged males, right? And the website was called fastfoodporn.com. He hired me, and he hired a web engineer to build the website. And every time the web engineer was given a deadline, he'd extend the deadline 1 or 2 weeks more. And my boss and we weren't technically savvy people. And I was curious to understand, like, how could this guy keep extending these deadlines? I have no idea what he's doing. I don't know how to help. But I'm just curious, like, why does he keep extending these deadlines? Does he not know how to do his job? I don't know. But so then I got curious to learn how to code, and I learned about these sites that made it kind of fun. So there was Team Treehouse and there was Code Academy, and I did those. I went through the courses or the exercises that they gave, but I really didn't know where to go from there because it was very basic, and I wanted to get to a point where I could understand how to build a website, from, setting up an e-commerce page because we wanted to sell merch and all that. I wanted to get into the weeds. And so I heard about the General Assembly program, and went to a little evening marketing course that some guy that worked at a startup was doing. I actually learned a ton because it focused on marketing. It was free, and there were people in the class that night who came from all sorts of backgrounds. Some people worked in the medical field, some people worked in finance, some were social media marketers like myself. And I thought it was cool that General Assembly had provided a space for people from different industries to just learn from each other. I thought that was a cool concept. And I thought to myself that if I ever went through a master's program, I want to learn a hard skill, or if I ever got a certification, I want to learn something that I could apply to the work that I'm doing rather than learning about theoretical concepts that I'm probably going to forget down the line. And so I applied to be involved with the web development immersive course. They had two programs that I was interested in, the web development course and the UX design course. I thought to myself that the web development immersive course is something that I could apply forever. UX design is something that I could probably learn on my own. I wasn't really sure if I wanted to get a job in the tech industry. For me, what I thought was that I would learn some new skills and go back to my job with new information to help us grow this thing that we were trying to build, right? And so while I was in the course, I learned that I hate back-end development. It was just a concept that I could not wrap around my head. It was a different way of thinking. When I changed something in the code, I couldn't see it on the screen. I get all these errors in the terminal, and I would just get super frustrated to the point that I was crying, and it was taking a toll on myself and my relationship with my girlfriend. It was like I was not spending time with her at all. I'd be trapped in my bedroom when I would do these projects, and I'd work until 2 a.m., get up at 6 or 7 to make my drive to Santa Monica. And it was kind of depressing for some time, right? And I saw that my classmates were advancing in learning these concepts and applying them to the projects that they were working on. But for myself, it was the other thing that depressed me was that I was going through this program and hating it. And I needed to make something of it. I needed to make it fun for myself. I needed to focus on something that I enjoyed. So at the time, I was coding my websites and using the illustrations that I was making in Illustrator on my website, and I'd animate those illustrations with CSS and all that. And when I'd present my stuff to the class, they would ask me like, "Hey, Jeremy, would you want to make something like that to make my website cool?" And I'd be like, "Sure, why not? This is going to boost my self-esteem because I'm good at one thing." So then, yeah, I eventually made some of these illustration characters for my classmates, and they were encouraging me to focus on that. And I'd also make logos. I wasn't an illustrator. I had no design background, but I was just making this stuff for fun because it boosted my self-esteem and I was helping other people out, which felt really good. And eventually, when it came time to start applying for jobs, I had this portfolio of work that I had created, and I had no intention of creating a portfolio, but I had this. It was a lot of work. Like I had a whole booklet of illustrations that I had done. I had a few websites that used these illustrations, and I did animations with them. And I had my classmates' websites that I was showing to potential employers. And at the time, I was actually, I figured, let me try to get a front-end development job, because front-end development to me felt like, it reminded me of cutting hair, which was a side job that I had back in high school and college. Just making, the fact that I could make somebody look fresh and boost their confidence in the matter of an hour. It was kind of like the same thing when I was making these illustrations for folks and making their website just a little bit more visually appealing. So I just decided, hey, let me just apply for a few front end developer roles. And when I would go through the interviews, and the exercises that they had, I wasn't very good at them. And then I just faced another setback where I was like, okay, I can't become a developer, a back end developer, and I'm not a front end developer, but maybe I need a mentor to learn this stuff if I really want to learn it. And so I started going to meetups, connecting with folks, and that was really helpful, because I saw that it was possible. It became possible in my mind, at least, to just be learning this stuff, because the folks that I was learning from and the people that were mentoring me, they didn't really go to school for this stuff. It's stuff that they learned on their own, or like I was, just asking for help from other people. And so I got interested in learning about UX, and I took a few online courses, and I've basically put myself out there as a UX designer who had some front end skills, right? And I kind of presented myself in a different way, rather than present myself as a developer or front end developer or back end developer. I was this UX guy who was, interested in learning more about UX. I didn't know a ton, but I knew some, and I had some visual design skills, and I knew about web development. I knew about back end development. So I knew what it took to design a website. I knew what it took to build a website, and I knew what it took to release it and put it out into the world, which was something that I thought that a lot of UX designers probably don't know. So let me kind of present myself as somebody that's different. And I don't come from this tech background. I'm not somebody who went to 4 years of school for this. I could give a different perspective, and I know how to market something on social media, so I felt like, instead of me focusing on things that I don't know, let me focus on the things that I do, because I'm somebody who's special. I had to boost my own self-esteem. So to say all that, what I'll say is that I do think that General Assembly is worth it if you're somebody who needs motivation from the people around you. If you need to be inspired, if you need to learn more about yourself, and you don't know where you want to go with tech, General Assembly is totally worth it, because I do feel like being surrounded by people who were committed to learning this craft and these new skills on a day-to-day basis for like 12 hours at a time, it was very inspirational for me to be around that energy. And the other question that I wanted to answer was, did people get jobs from going to General Assembly? I don't know if everyone got a job. I think that there were 5 or 6 people from my cohort that definitely got jobs right after the program. And from what I remember, my friend, I have a friend, I won't say his name, but he was doing a job. I'm not gonna say what job that is. He was basically dancing, and he became a developer, and he got a great salary, and he's really happy, and he still does that today, and I'm so happy for him. But just the fact that I saw somebody like him get to where he was, and he motivated me, and he helped me out so much, just to be around that, I don't think that would be something that I could find on an online platform or through going to to a university. Like just at the time, that was something that I really benefited from in my life. What's something else that I could cover? Oh, if you're somebody who is naturally great at working autonomously and you put yourself out there, and you're okay with doing a bunch of research on your own, and you're committed, and you want to find a job, or you want to learn some new skills, and you don't feel like you need to go to school for that or be surrounded by other people for that, to do that, then General Assembly is not worth it for you. So I'd put it in those two categories. If you need people and you don't know where to start, then yeah, General Assembly is cool. If you're somebody who can find direction on their own and everything in life, and you're just awesome at all that, then nah, don't go to General Assembly, because it is a huge commitment financially, emotionally, and physically, all that. It just takes a toll on you. It can. So yeah, I hope that the information in this video helps you. If I didn't address something or answer a question that you have in mind, at least from my own experience or about GA, just let me know, and I'll through the comments, and I'll get back to you. All right, peace, y'all.